Is that one resolved?
Not resolved.
Perhaps let's look at that and see what is outstanding. Irregular earnings of salary by the county attorney, that should be paragraph 3.4. Yeah. Auditor, what was your observation?
Yeah.
Just read your finding.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. 3.4, that's page 6 of the certificate. Irregular earning of the salary by the county attorney. The review of the records of the county executive revealed that a governor appointed an officer as county attorney via Gazette Notice number 14717 on 30th November 2022, and the letter of the appointment issued on 1st December 2022. However, a private citizen proceeded to the Employment and Labor Relations Court at Kisii to contest the employment of the county attorney and file a petition on a petition file a petition. On 24th January 2024, the Employment and Labor Relations Court at Kisii quashed the appointment of the officer through a judgment delivered virtually. However, as at the time of the audit, September 2024, the officer continued being in the payroll and had received a salary of around 3.3 million from January 2024 to August 2024. In circumstances, the regularity of the expenditure of 3.3 million could not be confirmed.
Governor, what was your response?
Chair, thank you. Management response. The audit review included 3 months' expenditure that ought not to have been included in the review as follows. The judgment from the Employment and Labor Court at Kisii was delivered on 24th January 2024, and the officer earned salary for the month while in office. This month ought to have been excluded from the review period. Further, the amount of August and September 2024 ought to have been excluded from the review period since the financial year 2023-2024, and the review ended on 30th June 2024. Nonetheless, the net salary remitted to officer salary account for the period February 2024 to June 2024 was 955,000, and the figure reached a maximum of 1.343340.95 for 7 months, inclusive of August and September 2024. Despite receiving the above sum of 1.340,000 shillings and 95 cents into his account as salary for the month of February to August 2024, the officer never utilized the money but returned the same to the county government and only requested for a refund after the Court of Appeal set aside the decision of the Employment and Labor Court at Kisii, effectively reinstating him to the office. The officer was not removed from the payroll as the county government filed an appeal to the Court of Appeal immediately after delivery of the Labor Court judgment. And it would be improper to remove the officer from the payroll before exhausting the remedy of appeal. And Chairman, all those chronology in terms of, we have put them in Annexure 1, 2, up to 10A, Notice of Appeal against the Employment and Labor Court at Kisii. 10B, Judgment from the Court of Appeal, setting aside the Labor Court judgment. Letter from the officer to SBM Bank applying for an escrow account. Letter from the officer to CSM, Finance and Economic Planning, requesting for bank detail to return depots the salary remitted the officer's account. Response from the CCM Finance and Economic Planning, giving county government accounting, providing county government bank details. 10F RTGS of 30th September 2024, remitting the said funds back to county government. 10G, letter from the officer requesting for refund of the said salary after being cleared by the Court of Appeal. Thank you, Chair.
So what was the problem with, and the gentleman to your right introduced himself as county attorney. Is
Yes.
he the person in question?
Is.
So is he in office properly?
Is.
When the Auditor General says that he's earning a salary, yet he's not supposed to be in office, what evidence do you have to support that or to dispute that?
Chair, there is the ruling of the Court of Appeal. It's there.
I'm looking at it, and pages 494, 493, 492, 491 and 490 are ineligible in my bundle. Are you as here, members? Because I was trying to see the final directives of the court on that matter.
Chair, so I will request for proper guidance. You know, you guided us very well at the beginning and said that we are not contacting audit here. We're just reviewing what has been brought to us. And I think we are at a point, and I need the Auditor General to hear this, that it is the Auditor General who has picked this up. So perhaps he should be the one to give us, to guide us on this one, based on the principle of he who alleges must prove. So it is him to tell us now what he has on these people, then we can ask them to respond to that.
Yeah, but there's a technical issue that the chair has raised, Governor. The people who printed out these documents for you, they also do you a lot of injustice and disservice. As you can imagine me having to read a document that looks like this.
I thought it was only mine that.
I cannot make out what this order
Is that consistent across?
Chair, you can have mine here if that one is not clear because.
But Governor, you should not take nice things for yourself and then you give us the bad things. Sure, it's very unfair. So, because the relevant decision of the court should be at page 493 to 494, which we can't read. Maybe you can tell us that 494, yeah. 490.
Actually, all the way from 490.
From 476, but allow me to give you, if that one, we are sorry for that.
Now, Auditor General, I don't know whether you had a copy that was legible, so what's your update on this before we probe further?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. For us, our copies are not also clear, and that's why it's very hard. But the issue here is inclusion of September to August. You know, for us, we receive the financial statement by that 1st of September. And that doesn't mean that we get a cut-off from 30th June. So July, August, September, we included the amount. Secondly, in regard to the refund, which maybe in terms of the management have been indicated, it's not clear whether this money has been refunded. You know, from the response, it's indicating that the fund has been refunded. And if it has been refunded, then it could be an acknowledgement amount that can be seen and it can be verifiable in terms of the fund has been refunded. Annex 10C, which talk of letter of the officers asking SBM Bank applying for escrow account. You know, the issue is again, what's the basis of opening an escrow account? When on the other hand, we are getting information that from the response that the CEC Finance was able to provide an account details for the where the money should be returned back. So in terms of applying the escrow account, in terms of the evidence whether the fund has been refunded, it's not clear to us. And those are some of the things that makes the issue more of outstanding and not resolved. Again, in terms of the court, now that it has been appealed, so for us, our position still, again, stands until maybe another ruling arises.
So, Governor, where are we? Because glancing through, I can see that the substantive issue that was raised by the petitioners was whether you can pluck a county attorney from the air and send to the assembly for vetting, and whether the assembly conducted proper public participation. Were those the substantive issues, or there was something else? Was it about the qualification? Was it about the integrity of the appointee?
Chair, allow me to ask the accountant because his grasp of that item. That's why he went all the way to the Court of
He
Appeal.
has a pecuniary interest in the matter.
Chair,
We are talking
Let
about
me just
him
explain,
getting
Chair.
benefits. The Auditor General is saying he's earning a salary when he's not supposed to earn. So
he is the beneficiary of that query, so he cannot be the one.
All right, Chair, let me answer. But again, I want to say is that the auditor's observation is wrong, because it's important for you to have gotten it right. You are saying you are auditing up to June 30th, but you went ahead to do extra that 2 months, which you're supposed to literally to have come in the following subsequent
Governor,
financial year.
pause it there. Pause it there. There are fiduciary issues which the auditor has cited, but I'm more interested in, because this matter can help us resolve a lot of things.
Yes.
A number of senators here are grappling with abuse of power by governors who decide that they want to have 40 advisors. And they don't go through any vetting, they don't go through any recruitment process. And there's an argument that a governor can have as many advisors as they want. So I can see in this particular matter, someone was saying that the person who went to court said, for you to send the name of a county attorney to the assembly, perhaps it must be preceded by an advertisement and a recruitment process. What was the position of the court on that?
Chair, the position of the court as it were, and in the earlier, even the same charge had been overruled by the same Court of Appeal in a case of, not Kakamega, the neighboring county. Which county was that? Vihiga, in the previous term, where the same charge was overruled by the Court of Appeal, that in the appointment of the county attorney, it did not need to be advertised. But he went ahead again, ignored the Court of Appeal's decision, and, dismissed the case and removed the officer from the office. That prompted for us to proceed to Court of Appeal to check with their earlier ruling. And they upheld the ruling that the judge again erred in his decision. Chair, that was the case.
So, Malcolm, in the County Attorneys Act, because you're the ones who processed that law, is there a recruitment procedure for the county attorney? You'll need to check on that, because it would have been, my life would have been easier if these pages, if I could read, I would not be asking
Please
you.
allow me to give you this.
How do you multiply it by 7? Because every member has a right to probe this.
Anybody who has, I'm sure there are clear copies.
So, in essence, the Court of Appeal reinstated the county attorney.
Indeed.
And what was that refund for, if he was reinstated?
No, it's thoroughly, because he was in office. Until, if he wasn't there, for money would have not been paid to him. And that's what that money was held there, Chair. And that's where we are getting a problem with the OAG.
Did the county attorney send back that salary?
Which salary, Chair? Because he is entitled at the end.
Here, RTGS's ETC.
Yes. Chair, that
What
money,
was that RTGS?
because at the time the court was going on, that's the time now he decided that, because we didn't know the outcome of the Court of Appeal. Therefore, he had to return the money that he had been sent to his account back.
And that is an extendee.
That's D.
So an extendee is headed office of the county attorney, saying the Court of Appeal set aside the judgment.
10F. Yeah, this 10F is...
Senator Nyonka?
OAG, had you looked at their response on the same matter? Does it change anything for you, or you take the same position as the same?
We have seen the responses, but in terms of the clarity of the document we have, it's not clear. You see, like now, in terms of RTGS, it's not clear for us.
In other words, you have no evidence that
We
the
have no
money
evidence to confirm the fund that was
the county attorney is saying he deposited in the bank. There's no evidence to confirm that or not. That's what you're saying.
Our position is until we get the clear documents,
Yes.
we can't able to sustain.
So, Auditor, are you saying this is the first time you're seeing these documents? You're seeing them with us, together with us here?
Sure, the documents have been availed earlier on, but in terms of even the clarity, it's not there.
No, you saw that when we were given these documents, we have raised the issue of their legibility immediately. I'm asking, when was the first time you saw those documents? And whether you have told the governor that they supplied illegible documents and had opportunity to get fresh ones.
Maybe through the share, I think that's why from our submission,
Did you see the original documents?
we have not seen the original documents, and that's why from our brief feedback, we say that the issue has not been addressed.
But Auditor, I said also, I am also audited. There is no way I can give you a document that you can't read and you just keep quiet, wait for the committee hearings. That's not possible, it's not prudent. You saw the chair raise it immediately, he saw his copy. We are seeing these documents ourselves today. So if you get a document from an entity that you can't read, it's also your responsibility to raise it to them. You ask for clearer copies. Maybe the governor would agree and you his copy the way he offered me.
Senator Nyonka? Senator Wampo?
Yes. One of the issues that has come out of this issue, and I think my colleagues are putting a finger on it, my question goes to the OAG. Did you go through the process of the recruitment of the county attorney to confirm whether that was done within the law or not? Or did you rely on the evidence provided from the ruling in court? Because that, I believe that is a dispute, isn't it? Could I be wrong?
Through the share, we relied on, when you do the reviews, and
Yes.
probably you can see the issue has been even escalated to the court, and the court has made its pronouncement on terms of that recruitment. So we pick that as an evidence.
Chair. Maybe just two issues from the OAG. When you flag the issue of non-refund, or there being no clarity as to whether a refund was made, what document would you have expected to get from the county government of Kisii to prove that money had been refunded? What document did you want to get from them?
Thank you. One of the things that we need to expect is the bank statement showing the reflection of the amount has been transferred, and it has been reflected in the accounts of the county government. Secondly, probably it's an acknowledgement also to showing that the money has also been received with the payee or the person who have already funded the payments. So those are some of the things that
Thank you. So on just those two documents, did you receive any of those documents? Did you ask for those documents and did you receive them?
No, we have not received the bank statement in terms of the reflections, and we have not received the acknowledgements to indicate that the money has been received.
Okay. So, Chair, I rest my case.
So, okay, Senator Nyonka.
So what you're saying is actually the dispute that you are handling is not even with the process on how he was hired, only that you're saying that he was earning a salary when he shouldn't have been earning that salary. Then within the law, what does it mean when you earn a salary that you should not earn?
For us, it's irregular because if the court has pronounced that this staff has been recruited irregularly, and the court has already made a pronouncement on that, so what is the position? And you see those are court rulings that has already been done. Then the office just rely on that court ruling in terms of the irregularity of the recruitments.
Governor, you will help yourself, you will help us, you will help the people of Kisii by making sure that your internal audit, your audit committees are in place. Because these are issues that are easily verifiable. I think the auditor is just saying there's something that you're supposed to have given them that you did not give them in terms of evidence. But for me, really, the big thing is, has it been settled that the county attorney is now properly in office?
Yeah, the Court of Appeal has settled on this matter, that the county attorney is properly in office. And, there is a question Senator Dulo asked. Did they see the originals in their entry and exit. You know, we could have expected the OAG to tell us that he asked for those documents, he was not given. But by assumption that because he was given an eligible document, he could write his report. Therefore, and again, you are doing us a disservice, Bana OAG.
Order, Governor, leave the OAG out of this, because this judgment was delivered on, what date was it?
October?
October, 29th of October, 2024. Was it available to the auditor at that point? During the audit, because the auditor was on site up to, I think by this date, the audit was ongoing.
Yes, it was.
So,
and actually, he has indicated clearly that he captured even for September. Therefore, he must have interacted with those documents as they were.
so auditor, I may have missed that because I'm sure members asked. You are aware of this decision of the Court of Appeal?
Here we are not aware about that appeal. What we are aware of is the court ruling, which was dated on 24th of January.
Or the initial one?
The initial one.
Yeah, because this has changed things.
Probably this has changed things.
Yeah.
Again, I think as governor has pointed out, some of the things we really even appeal to the governors. Most of the governors are now attending even the entry meeting and exit meeting.
Yes.
And I think it will be very good if we can also appeal to the governor himself for him to be participating in those meetings.
I agree, because
really
you come here to defend things that have been done by your officers. It will add a lot of value to do what the auditor is saying. Because I'm sure at the exit, if you saw this kind of query, you ought to have given the Auditor General the Court of Appeal ruling.
And I want to agree with you that going forward, OAG, you must be sure, even for me to make sure these people, any of the requests you have put across and they have not, so that from there we deal with them at that level, instead of us coming to really do it at the same.
To do it here. Yeah. This kind of audit observation, I mean, this guy is going to be lynched by people who don't like you. They'll say the Auditor General has said he's earning money that he's not supposed to earn. They have already done that. Yeah. Shida za kujiletea. Shida za kujiletea. Because by the time you start explaining there was a Court of Appeal ruling, the guy is gone. So please, let's take this audit exercise seriously so that we can be efficient across the board from all sides. And that's why I don't think the Auditor General is to be fixed. It is your people who have a responsibility that they have abdicated. So then I think, Malcolm, you look at that decision of the Court of Appeal, it can help us to deal with some of the emerging issues in Isiolo, in Samburu, and other counties where there seems to be arbitrary hiring. I don't know whether that decision related only to the office of the county attorney, or it gave the governor power to just appoint anybody as long as the assembly is required to vet.
Chair, law must be followed. There is nothing like arbitrarily choosing anybody from the air, put him in the office. Law has to be followed, even for those advisors, as it were. Law has to be followed because it has passed through the cabinet. In doing so, until then you send these names to the board for suitability interview for you to have them. Therefore, it's not picking anybody from wherever you put him there, Mr. Chair.
So we look at the County Attorney Act and see whether there needs to be some amendments to it. So I think then, Auditor General, since we are going to have an implementation timeframe, that will give you time to look at this and tell us that now you are satisfied that there was no loss of public funds. Now,
I don't know if there would be some way forward in as far as the qualifications of the CCM and the CCO for finance is concerned. Do you think you want to make some guideline or some direction? Because they are not qualified. I think we need expert people, either the CCM or the CCO, one of those two, I don't know.
Senator Maruma, I'm very convinced that we need to make that amendment. Because when I look at the job description of a CEC Finance and Chief Officer Finance in the PFM Act and regulations, those are extremely important positions in county governments. They are very important. And I think we must give way for merit. We must give way for professionalism. There is no requirement in law, but Senator, I think I want to agree with you. From my experience sitting on this chair for this while, because a county attorney to advise you ought to be a member of the Law Society of Kenya. The CEC Finance, who advises you on fiscal matters, also needs to be of a relevant profession. Your chief officer, who is the accounting officer, a very, very powerful role. Even if you want to put a friend, look for a friend with the right qualification. So if governors are not going to do it, then we'll probably need to compel them through legislation. I remember one county where the chief officer of finance was a retired ECD teacher. So he has already retired and he has spent all his professional life at the early childhood stage. I mean, ECD teachers are very special people. Someone who can teach a child to write and read is very, very, it's very important. But when you put them in the chief officer's position, then you end up with 64 audit queries. These are the results. So, Senator, I do agree. We need to push for that recommendation.